And I know why Amanda don't want to give the fight, because it's really tough for her to go to 135. So don't fight anymore. Say, hey, Julianna, it's 1-1. I'm going to retire on 1-1. I'm just going to keep my 145. Fight for the 135. You're the champion. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or give the chance for her to fight you again, or give the title. I think Amanda should be fair. And once again, I don't like to talk shit about any fighter. Yeah. I respect Amanda, but I don't think it's fair what she's doing.
So
shoot.
Awesome. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to No Offense. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe. Helps out a lot. Our guest today is a technically fifth degree black belt under Rickson Gracie, 3-time world champ for BJJ, UFC coach, entrepreneur, and we're happy to have him on. Thanks for coming on, Luis. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. My pleasure to be here. Finally,
right? We finally got it going, right? This is like a year in the making.
Literally a year in the making. It's been insane.
It's not my fault. It's their fault.
No, it's everyone
It's
else's
actually my
fault.
fault.
It's this guy's fault.
It's
over
my
here. He's
fault.
in the gym all the time. He's not saying
I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I should ask him. You see, he's really busy right now. I always tell him
Drew's like sweating, like walking over, like about to talk. He's like, never mind. Like,
all nervous.
Excuse me, coach. Never mind.
Coach, yeah, what's up? No, just jiu-jitsu.
I got a question on this.
What's the joke again?
Okay, so I want to go back like through everything because like I haven't heard a lot of this stuff. Obviously, like I'd love to just start with like the beginning, like you growing up in Brazil and everything, and just like an introduction to how you got involved in jiu-jitsu and like what was your first intro to it, and just like growing up in Brazil.
Oh my God, it's a long time ago. Okay, so the reason actually I started jiu-jitsu is because I was getting bullied, right? Going to school, private school, you think you're gonna have like the nicest kid in the world? No, all wrong. So I got bullied the shit out of me all the time. Back in the days, I was playing soccer too. So every time there was always something, got in a fight, got beat up. And then eventually one day, back in the days, I was watching TV and I saw Rickson Gracie, right? And I saw this guy, like 135 pound, going against, it was like it was something about Helio and what you're doing and this stuff. And I was like, wow, this is what I need to do, because anything else that I try, if I did try a little bit of kickboxing, the big guy always beat me up. And then if I would try going to school, judo, they offered judo in the school, so I did a little bit of judo. But once again, if the guy was big, it was always hard for me to beat it. And I was like, man, this little guy, this is the sport for me. I need to do this, And then I started, I didn't start with Rickson in the beginning because I was in Rio, and at this time, back in the day, Rickson was already in LA. And I started with this guy, João Fernandes, back in the day. And I think I became a blue belt, and then I moved to the States my dad used to be divorced from my mom. He had a company in the States. So I moved to come to study. And my dad, when I got here, he goes like, so what's the deal? I'm like, well, what's the deal? He's like, you came here not to have the playboy life you have in Brazil, surfing this, because he was in LA. So he goes, you're going to school full time, morning, middle of the day, and at night. And I'm like, oh my God, hell.
Fuck.
Yeah, he was very, So I went to school, and then after 6 months, my English was better. And then I started doing jiu-jitsu, and then I joined the gym. I think it was 90, 91.
Wow.
Yeah, but I started jiu-jitsu probably like 86. I think I got my first collar belt, yellow belt in like 1987, December 1st. Yeah, I have all the cards and everything.
Wow.
So
Oh, you still got everything?
I have
That's
everything.
awesome.
Yeah, I have like the federation, all that stuff. So I have that. So it's pretty cool.
Was his gym in LA?
Yeah.
Is it in LA?
Yeah.
How was it with him as a coach?
Yeah.
Dude.
How was he as a coach?
Man, sometimes you guys people complain how I am. That I'm trained and not you, but He used to, but no. He's a TV boy, so model. Andrew is on my team.
Now he's on the team, exactly.
So, bro, it was crazy because, there was no playing around. Back in the days, when LA, you got all these, dude, the training there, it was just like, if you're not 1,000% ready for that day, don't come.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was war. And if Rickson was at the gym, everybody wants to show, like, dude, I'm ready for my belt, or I'm ready for whatever, right? Like, I'm here. So it was war. So it definitely, LA was one of the best time of my life.
Do you structure your classes like he did? Like, did you pick up a lot the way?
Oh yeah. Everything that I do, I try literally to follow all the steps. That's what I learned. The program, we put together a program for the students. So everything that I learned there back in the days, it was everything's so useful and perfect. He's the best of all time. There's still a bunch of new guys that are coming up, now. They're amazing, but there's only one Rickson Gracie.
Yeah.
Was he already in the UFC at that point?
Who, him?
Rickson?
So Rickson, no. So Royce, his brother,
Royce
was actually in the UFC. Actually, everybody I was asking back in the days, like, why Rickson is not doing it? Because Rickson was always doing Pride, all those.
That's what I was thinking.
The Vale Tudo back in the days. And at that time, it was so crazy because nobody knew anything. Nobody actually wanted MMA.
Yeah.
And back in the days, it was not even MMA. It was Vale Tudo. So, and back in Brazil was like no gloves, like the bare knuckle now. So that's how real, yeah. And back in the days, like you put an ad on the newspaper, hey, this gym, they used to actually, the Gracie used to put in the newspaper ads, like they would, if they actually someone would beat them, they would pay them whatever. So
that's crazy.
That's baller.
Yeah, that is.
Bro. They, a lot of people today that does jiu-jitsu, they actually don't understand what the Gracies did. What Helio did, what the Carlos, all of the Gracies did. What they did, man, is they changed because the jiu-jitsu actually came from Japan and eventually came to Brazil. And then after that, one of the Japanese taught Carlos and, Gaston Gracie, actually. The story goes back in the day. So Gaston and then Carlos, which was, so it was from, one to another and eventually get to Helio Gracie, which was, because the family, why I'm saying this, because you had Carlos, you had Helio, and then you had Carson Gracie, so there's so many of them. So my lineage comes from Helio, Rickson Gracie, and then us, So it's pretty close, and I like to say that because Helio was a guy that for I don't know for how many years, he was watching his brother actually teaching, and he had asthma, and he was really weak. So for how many years, he didn't train anything, and one day, I think it was the consulate, whatever, of Brazil, his brother couldn't teach him. And then Helio's like, well, my brother's going to, he's stuck, but I can actually, I know a little bit. I don't know a lot, but I can teach you. And once he taught the guy, he's like, I want to have classes from you, because it was very technical and all that stuff. And from that on, he challenged the whole world. And, that's how jiu-jitsu get, big down in Brazil. And then eventually, they came to the U.S., and then it started growing. And then the UFC came with Rickson Gracie. And back in that time, they were deciding who they were going to put to fight. And Rickson was already, 185, 6% body fat, super strong. So there's like, no, and he was already fighting Pride. So it was like, no, we need a guy that is really skinny, that people will look at him goes like, oh, this guy can do anything. That will shock the world, right? And that was the idea. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Great idea.
It was a great idea. And once again, back in the days, it was not MMA. Was karate against jiu-jitsu, boxing against jiu-jitsu, wrestling against jiu-jitsu. So it was really different.
Yeah,
because guys would wear their gis in the ring, right?
Yeah.
And then the other guy would be like in his kickboxing
and
shorts.
for a guy that was, he could be the best boxer in the world, but once he was on the ground, that was it.
Nothing.
you know. So I feel like they made a perfect, start. And then Royce Gracie came in. He started beating all these guys that was like 100 pounds over him, 150 pounds over. And that's when he shocked the world. And then jiu-jitsu
exploded.
Got a chance to prove itself, literally.
Yeah. And I think that was, it was amazing. At this time, I was already training with Rickson, was able to train, from some of the fights in Japan. I knew Royce. I know Royce, well. So it was really cool because when I met Royce in the beginning, Royce is the funniest guy in the world, right? He's super cool, super funny, super humble. And, he used to have this old Volvo, and it was funny because, the guy is like, he's a Gracie guy, he's a badass, but, suddenly, the next day he's on TV and, he's the biggest star in the world, so it was pretty cool. So there's a lot of stories,
You got to see the
come up
evolution of jiu-jitsu in America, really, when you think about it. It's crazy. You got the whole path.
Yes.
It's wild that it's not that old of a sport.
I know,
here.
It's
weird.
Yeah. And if you really think about it, it's being the jiu-jitsu actually in Japan is being, I don't know exactly the number, but it's being, I don't know, 1,000 years ago, but the Brazilian jiu-jitsu was the Gracie's dad.
What are like the primary differences between the two from Japan and Brazil?
To tell you the truth, I don't know. Like if you ask me exactly, I would say maybe
just their take on certain movements and
I don't know. I think Helio, he developed a very the way he developed jiu-jitsu, is amazing because he was at 135 pound. So everything is based on leverage, so there's no strength. It's pretty much, if you push, I pull. If you pull, I push. And, working with that leverage the whole time, that's how, he start, finishing and submitting everybody. And it's amazing how much, it grew since the beginning of it, even with Helio. And I was very lucky to get my black belt on the Rickson Gracie, which is, Rickson Gracie is for me. You have all the Gracies and I respect and, I honor, because of them. We all do jiu-jitsu because of them. And, but at the end of the day, it's pretty cool that I was able to go for the guy that, is the GOAT, he's the legend. So, and I'm very close to him, so it's a really good thing. It's like I go to his house, we're rolling in the living room and stuff like that. So it's, it's like, and even today, when I go to his house, it's just me and Chag. We're like, you nervous? I'm like, yeah, we always nervous. It's like, it's crazy because, you do, I'm a black belt, but every time I go to him, I'm a white belt, and it's amazing because, how many people actually, you have a, like a hero, and you're able, like you like basketball and then you imagine, okay, hey Jordan, I'm going to show up your house. We're going to play a little bit of basketball. Let's play ball,
except if Jordan invented basketball.
Right? Like think about it. Anything, anybody that is like for example, one of Julie's fight, Mike Tyson shows up there, right? And it's like, it's Mike Tyson, And then I took my son Hansel, and he was like, oh my God, it's Tyson. Tyson. It's like, yeah, I do, but I still get nervous, So even though, you used to and all that stuff, you're still a human being, It's so humble to be around, really like goats, you know what I'm saying? And
people at the top of their craft.
Yeah.
People you hear about, then
man.
they're just like legends of the sport.
Right? Like you see the whole time, it's like, are you real?
Like pinching yourself.
Can I take a picture? Like another one? So it's pretty cool. So yes, I started back in 1986, 85, and then
haven't stopped.
Stopped, thank God. Thank my Lord, and I hope I can keep doing this for a little bit.
That is when did you first start competing? How old were you, like right away or?
Right away. I would say actually before competing, I kind of revenge all the guys that beat me up. Literally.
I like that.
I kicked their ass first. So
that's awesome.
there's a guy. So there's a couple guys, and people don't understand. Like, man, bullying is such a big thing. Okay, like it's huge, you know. And bullying for a lot of people, even they become, you know, a grown man, right? And they still carry that on. Like, I can look back and I know each guy that beat me up, each name, you know what I'm saying? Like, I clearly remember them, bro. We're talking about many years ago, you know? So it's a bad thing, you know, bullying. You know, we have our gym, and I'm always talking about, you know, we have a lot of kids that have problem, you know, kids, when I say, you know, girls and boys, they have, bullying is such a bad thing, you know, and jiu-jitsu literally saved my life, you know? And so 6 months goes in, you know, and I'm thinking I know something, right? 6 months, you know nothing. Just so you know, guys, 6 months. But anyway, I think I know something, so I'm like, all right. I had this guy, Renato, Carlos, you know, that beat me, you know, every time. And I'm like, you call my friends, says, hey, tell them I'll be at the park where the soccer, you know, and I'm waiting for, you know, and then the first guy I think was Renato, and I took him down, mount, and took care of business, put him to sleep, and woke him up, and I said, now we'll do it again. And I was so confident, bro. I was
now
waiting.
We do it again.
Yeah, I was petrified from that kid, you know. And when I did the first time, everybody, it was like Rickson Gracie shocking the world. It was like I was shocking the park.
That was your debut. That was his world debut.
You're like, here
I'm
we
like,
go.
okay, now we do it again. And then
Did you show up in your gi?
Bro, no. And the good thing too is I didn't say anything for anybody that was doing jiu-jitsu. So, and actually, all I wanted is to do, I didn't want to be scared anymore, you know? Mm-hmm. And I was a mama's boy too, you know? So I say jiu-jitsu changed my life. You know, jiu-jitsu changed my life. It's not, I don't work with jiu-jitsu. I work with 5-6 different businesses. And my vision, I'm not scared, you know, like anything, any business that I put my hand on, and it's always like, I do like it would be jiu-jitsu, you know? So it's always me surviving and make sure that it's going to happen, and I got to win.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to ask, like, how, like, you always hear people say how jiu-jitsu correlates to the rest of life. Like, do you think it really does with everything? 'Cause you're being put against an object that seems immovable at the time, and then jiu-jitsu is able to make it possible. You can apply it to everything.
Yeah, I believe so. And I think, you know, from my life, you know, and everything, let's put it this way. Anytime when you start a business, you're scared of everything, you know? And I mean, 100%, bro. I always have that confidence in my mind that's going to work, you know? I got some failures, you know, but it's part of it. And if you really take everything that you learn in jiu-jitsu, like, dude, you walk in, you know, you're scared, you know, and you start first day, second day, third day, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you know, you walk in different, you talk different. When you go talk to some people in the business-wise, you know, you look in their eyes, you're not like worried. It's somebody say something that you don't like, you know, you're not going to be an asshole about it, but you're going to go like, listen, I don't like this. So I feel like you get the confidence that you get, right? Plus there's respect and everything else, you know, like respecting the older people. But I think the most important thing is you learn how to survive. Mm-hmm. That's for me. You know, you learn how to survive, my friend. You can do anything.
That's also good. I always thought just because you're really bad at jiu-jitsu and everyone's bad at it at first, and you learn how to be bad at something and be humble while being bad at it while still trying to be good at something, which is kind of business. Everyone sucks at first.
Yes.
And you get your ass beat all the time, and that's basically jiu-jitsu. You just get your ass beat for years.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's I mean, come on. We know it's a tough world, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for the weak. I always say, you know, I tell my kids, I have one that is a fighter. He's going to be in UFC. You know, he's focused wrestling. He does, you know, he trains at VFS with Coach Mike. He trains at Easy Style. He goes to Barrington and does wrestling there. He trains Muay Thai with Coach Gregorio.
Jeez.
So, you know, he trains jiu-jitsu with me. So he's full-time plus school, good grades. And the other one, he trains jiu-jitsu, but he's an artist. You know what I'm saying? He draws. And but both of them got bullied before in school, you know, and both of them did the same thing. I always say, look, you never start. You always, until they don't, if they touch you, you got to defend yourself. If it's talk, you turn, go away. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. But the moment someone touches you, you got to defend yourself. That, they can't cross the line. They got to respect you as a man. And both of them took their kids down. They held them. They didn't touch them. They didn't hurt them. They go, says, you want to see this again? And they're like, so the kids became their, you know, their friends, and no more fights. You know, would be a lot of, I always tell parents, and it's not because it's my business. Even it could be wrestling, judo, you know, kickboxing. You have a son, you have a daughter, put them in any kind of martial arts. They need to know how to defend themselves, and they need to know how to respect others. Because you know the teenagers today, man, everything is this and that and bad words. And, you know, you see the kids, my kids' class. Bro, I whistle and, you know, and the parents come to me, goes like, oh, can you talk to my kid? You know, it's like, I'm here to teach jiu-jitsu, you know, not to educate your kid. But, you know, it is an important thing. You know, it's the kids, when they see that, you know, I feel like, you know, human race, if you let them do whatever they want, you know what's going to happen. You know, you got all the shit that we have, you got all the drugs, they'll be lost. So before we started, you know, we're talking about, I never used drugs, you know, and I look back and I thank God I didn't, you know, and the reason was because my group of people was always in jiu-jitsu. They were always competing, they're always fighting, you know, so it was always like, okay, I need my body to be perfect. So I eat clean, I train hard, sleep well, you know, so party time was not in the books.
Yeah.
You know, unless
You
it
had
was
a dedication.
Unless it was private party.
Well, I mean, there's so much insecurity that comes with like being able to know how to fight. Like that's like always somebody's back of the head, because it just comes down to violence at the end of the day. It's like something's going on, any situation. You're like, okay, if we get into a fight, like I don't know shit. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. But
There's
like,
also some people with like so much false confidence too. With
a lot of that too.
That's
It
one
teaches
of the
you that
biggest-
a lot
so
of
much
that shit.
false confidence. And it's like, man, if you go to like one class with a bunch of people who are like well trained in something, you learn really quick that it's the people you least expect.
Exactly.
Also, it's the people
you don't want to just
never
go and fight
expect.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you know, most of the time, I would say the guys that know something, they're always super humble. You know, those are the guys that are scared. The guy is quiet, he doesn't do anything. Those are trouble.
Yeah.
The guys that's loud and talk and big, and those guys that got slapped on the face one time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I've been doing this for many years, and I know how it is.
Yeah.
You know, like 90%. You will get, of course, some guys that, you know, they look that and they're dangerous.
Yeah.
But it's not all the time. But the guys that, you know, like today, you know, if they're a fighter, you see, you know,
you see the ear
you
right
see
away.
the ear right away.
Yeah.
But, you know, but some guys, they don't have it, and they're extremely dangerous. It's a skinny guy. He's not that big, but, you know, he gets the knife and he moves the knife so well. So it's scary,
Yeah.
you know. So, but yeah, I definitely agree, you know. But the more you know, the less you fight.
That's what I'm saying.
And every time, once I knew something, right? Because you never know a lot, but I know something. But once you know something, when somebody come talk to you and they try to, you know, because they got that first charge, you know what I'm saying? And you just look at them face and, you know, it's like you look in their soul. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking down, I'm looking into your soul. It's like, we're going to start this, you're going to die. It's me and you know, like people look at you and they go like, okay, man,
This guy knows something.
this guy, he's not backing up. Unless, you know, somebody, it's stupid or drunk, you know. I got one time in a fight many years ago, this guy was high in drugs and he actually hit my car. He came, started arguing. I'm like, what do you want? You're not going to pay my car? And I'm like, sir, you're the one that, you know, get into my car. You're not going to pay my car? I'm like, okay, how much I have to pay your car? You're not going to pay. I said, you're not listening to me. You know, he was a big dude.
Yeah.
And we're in the gas station. My car was, you know, parked, and I was about to get out of the car, and he got so close. I want to open the door hits on his car. But dude, there was, between my car and the other car, there was no enough space for his car to come in. So he was super high in some bad shit. And short story, I'm like, you don't want me to pay? You don't gonna pay? I'm like, but how much? You know?
What do you want me to pay?
And he just kept it, you know, and at this point I'm already stepped back and I'm thinking, my God, he's so big. Fuck, it could be a smaller guy, you know, like it's huge. But you know, that's what happened. A lot of the big guys, you know, they see a smaller guy, they, you know, they take
false
advantage.
confidence.
They take advantage of that situation. So he gets in the car and takes off. I go back in the gas station because it was like surf day. It was in Rio actually. So I'm there. My mom was with me, and then I had a girlfriend back, you know, ex-girlfriend back in the day. And, you know, we sat down, I have my ice cream, and we're talking. I see this, you know, Flintstone guy running. You know, I'm inside of the convenience store, and I see him running with this big-ass rock in his hands. And
my
he
God.
throws on my car, bro, right in the back of my car. And then I had that scream like, holy shit, he's crazy. And everybody at the gas station, oh. And then I walked out to buy ice cream. He goes like, you're not going to pay my car? Now I'm going to kill you. And I threw the ice cream out. And I turned, you know, I went to the other side because behind me was, you know, the windows.
Yeah.
And bro, he came with everything he had and he got surprised, you know. So as he came to charge, I took him down and, you know, that was a good story.
The rest is history.
And I picked up because in the gas stations there was a construction. So once he was there getting rested.
He was resting.
Getting sleep.
He's getting sleep. I get the rock and I saw his car. So I get the rock and I want to pay him back. So I get the rock and I run to his car. When I get to his car, there was a woman and a kid and another daughter in the back. And then I look and I'm like, man, I threw it away. I'm so sorry.
You just put it on top of him.
Damn.
Yeah, the guy was really high. He was high in some bad thing, you know.
Wow.
Yeah. So if I didn't know anything, you know, because of his side, he would probably kill me.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I got a bunch of stories, but go ahead.
That is insane. No.
I had some bad ones. So let me tell you this one.
I like these.
There's a good story, but this story it was kind of almost a half you know end story. So this was actually before jiu-jitsu. So we're playing soccer, 7 guys on that side, 7 guys on this side. Guys will talk shit, we were talking shit. And then one time, I don't remember exactly, but somehow, stupid ass here, challenge all 7 guys on the other team. Guys on my team don't back me up. I say, I don't care. I'll fight you all 7. So I fought all 7. Okay? So I got beat up 4 times. And I beat 3 guys.
You got 3 of them at least.
3 guys I beat. And I didn't know. I had no idea of anything. So it was pretty cool. But the 4 guys, after I learned jiu-jitsu,
He went back.
I went to their home. And I said, hey, remember, Sergio, do you remember me?
He's like a reverse superhero.
Bro.
It's like the reverse Batman.
I went and I goes like, do you remember a soccer game? And he goes like, what soccer game? Yeah, 2 years ago, man.
He's got a list.
I got a list of the 4.
Crossing them off.
Actually, 2 of them became my good friends.
Oh my God.
I didn't have to beat them, but 2 of them I kicked their ass.
Everyone in Rio is like, there's this crazy motherfucker
This
Luis
guy's
walking
running around
around
the city just beating people up.
He challenges everybody and comes back 3 years later.
No, I had some bad ones too, man. I got beat up too many times. You know. There was actually one guy, his name is Anderson. And this guy actually, he's in the politician big time now in Brazil. But this guy, he was older and he beat me up and I could never beat him, even though I started doing jiu-jitsu. Then I came to, you know, to study here in the US and eventually, you know, so when I got back to Brazil,
10 years later, he's flying back, pissed off.
10 years later, right?
Was it actually 10 years later?
10 years later, I got, you know, I was a brown belt. Yeah, it was 9, 8, almost 10 years. So I go back to Brazil to do competitions more, right? I wanted to stay there like for a year. And so I got there, end up opening a school. Who comes to the school? Anderson.
No way.
And then he's like, man, how are you? So every row for at least a year, I was kick his ass. And then he would go like, Coach, let me ask one thing. Do you still hold anything against me back, from back in the days?
Like, you can't tell as you got him like an arm bar.
So you arm bar and you go like a little bit more. You choke and you choke a little bit more. Your elbow a little bit. Everything was like, an extra inch. She goes like, he goes, I feel like every time, man, I feel like you hurt me on purpose. I'm like, do I actually hurt you?
I have no idea.
I do.
Like, no
but
way.
actually, we became really good friends. And then later on, I was like, hey, I gotta tell you something. He goes, what? So remember the times that you said that I beat you up a little bit too much? He goes, yeah. Say I was all the payback for you to kick my ass. You motherfucker.
It's like that. It's like that Adam Sandler movie where Adam Sandler apologized to him and he crosses the list. It's like that.
Yeah, once he started calling you coach, I bet that was a good feeling.
Yeah, you're like, that's right.
Yeah,
I
he's
am
calling
your
you coach years later. You're like, that's right, bitch.
But it was a good thing. I would say jiu-jitsu literally being a sport, right? It literally transforms your life. Doing what I do at this point in my life, I still train every day. Yesterday, actually, lazy ass didn't come to class. So yesterday, bro, it was only heavyweights like Youssef, Vlad. Yes, like everybody that is big.
That's why Drew didn't go.
Bro,
if you knew Youssef, just his name is scary.
Yeah,
enough.
Youssef is like 230, 240, like pure muscle wrestler, was MMA fighter, plus is our black belt, and he does not like to lose. So, you go on the ground, you suffer. You go standing up, you suffer. So if you do fight, you suffer. So
Either way, you're screwed.
bro, it's so bad. But yesterday, so this morning I woke up, I'm like, man, I feel like 150 years old.
Oh, were you rolling with him?
Oh, I roll with everybody
He
last
rolls
night.
all
Yeah,
the
I roll all the time. And, so if I think about it, what I still do, every day of my life, I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed, man. I can roll with my kids every day, and I can actually make good money, travel the world, doing what I love the most. It's crazy because I kick people's ass and they still pay me. It's the best job in the world. So we open the clinic, so we break them and then we fix them. It's a perfect business, And then I have the acai business. I feed them. So it's like, okay, how can I make more money here?
Yeah, what are all the businesses that you have running?
We have a clinic. We partnered up with one of our students. We have a chiropractor acupuncture clinic. It's right by us. We have acai business. We got this new company, Gi, called House BJJ. I start working with some CBD company. So it's like I'm everywhere and I can put the hands, we got the UFC fighters. I got a Jiu-Jitsu association. So I'm busy Monday to Monday,
You got a lot of shit going on.
I do.
Yeah. Always.
I love, and that's one thing. I love business. I do love business.
It's kind of like jiu-jitsu businesses.
Yeah, I just almost, I can't say because I didn't buy it, and probably not going to buy it, but I almost bought Anytime Fitness, the last 3 weeks. So anytime that I can put my hands on something that is legal, let's make it clear, I will do. I love business. I do like the fact that, if you have an idea of something and that comes to the paper becomes actually the business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like how, it's like, yeah, man, we used to do it over there and this is how it was, and eventually once you start seeing the success of it, it's priceless. Of course, having the money coming back at you is always good.
Yeah.
But I think like the process is fantastic.
So he was always telling me, I'm like, man, I feel like we're on that. You always hear your parents talk about, I was working till midnight, this. I'm like, man, I feel like we're going through like our origin story right now.
Yeah, right.
This is the origin story, 100%. The journey is fun. I think it's the whole building of
a
everything.
blast.
And I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. If you're able to enjoy, right? And that's why when people ask me, people always ask me like, how do you do? Because I have seminars, I have all the gyms that we go and we do seminars, we do belt test, and besides all the other stuff, you travel with the UFC fighters and all that stuff. And people always ask me, like, how can you do? Like, you were in Abu Dhabi and then fucking Monday you show up in the gym to teach, I think is when you love what you do, it's not heavy, So always when people come to me, it's like, how can you do? I said, if you love what you do, you know what I'm saying? It's not work.
100%.
You're getting paid to do something that you love to do. And the times, and I know sometimes you're tired or you're hurt, and you got to still show up. I always say, like, man, just think how blessed you are, to wake up every day and be able to do a deep breath and get those cold shower like Wim Hof, got that breathing.
Are you into the cold showers and everything?
Yeah, I am.
Every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless if I'm staying home, I will take warm, especially now in the cold. But if I'm going to the gym, I do my breathing exercise in the morning. Rickson has all the stuff, and for it's amazing. But I always try to do at least 5 to 10 minutes. The breathing, I stretch a little bit, and then it's always at fuck. But it's almost like my body is used to, in the beginning stuff. But I would say, like, once it's done, it's like, man, all right.
You got your win for the day.
I feel like waking up, it's the hardest thing, because you're in that comfortable situation right there. And it's like, man, it's, it's cold, it's snowing, and depending on your job, you can kind of lack, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, once you have, like, this is my regimen. I got to do this. If I do that, my day is productive.
What is your morning routine that you have to stick to?
So morning routine, I wake up, I do my breathing, I got my cold shower. Depending how tired I am, or I go downstairs, I have a little gym in the downstairs. I do my cardio and then I work out. I've been lacking. Let's not be a hypocrite here. Christmas, New Year, I definitely been lacking 100%, especially the month of October, November, December. For me, it's like when we got all the belt tests from the association, got hundreds of people that come. It's crazy. I do seminar. I don't stop. Like, it's Monday to Monday. So it's crazy for me. And then we got Julianna's fight and all that stuff. Yeah, you fight and all that. So it was kind of tough for me, but I try not, if I miss one day, the other day I'm on point.
That's what they say, never miss 2 days in a row. Right?
Don't. Because, dude, when I do miss, and there's times I do miss a week, fuck.
It's hard.
Bro, it's hard. It's hard because, you depending, whatever the workout you do, even if you run, you're so sore. And then I feel like 3 days you're dragging yourself, you know? It's horrible. And then I feel like you don't want to do it, and then you get into that stage of laziness, and now you're eating, and it's like, dude, how can you do that? How can you live like this? You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people, I know how hard it is. Bro, I know how hard it is to lose weight, because if I stop, I gain weight like everybody else. It's not that I'm not going to do anything. I'm not 20 anymore. Yeah. So if you don't, I always say, don't stop. Slow it down, but don't quit. When you quit, it's hard. Anything in life. You know what I'm saying? Slow down, but don't quit. So especially
because it becomes habitual.
Bro, and exercise is important, You need that. And remember, you're all going to get old, because I'm already there. So
I hate thinking about that.
I hate thinking about that so much.
Wait until you get there. And you can slow down. That's pretty much what I did. So I slowed down a lot, but I'm definitely not like the guys that are my age, especially the guys, like, every time I see them back home, it's like, dude, what happened with you guys? Like, wow.
Yeah. I almost think it's almost harder to be like that. Like the weeks where, like, I take time off or whatever from doing my stuff. I kind of like, I feel so lazy and stuff. I'm like, how do people do this? Like, I feel miserable right now. Like, dude. I'm like
eating bad. I mean, think about it. Just by eating bad, I feel like you change. By eating, you're already ruin your life.
Yeah.
Your mind, you could definitely tell the difference.
I feel like people don't realize how much like just what goes into your gut affects like everything.
Everything, bro. Everything. Like, you know, I eat home a lot. I don't like to eat outside.
You just eat your acai all day?
I do eat acai
all day long.
Oh, that'd be
I
so
eat
nice to
acai
have your own company for it. That'd be amazing.
Acai is my thing.
Yeah.
But I try to eat clean. I'm always eating home, so I try to be as clean as possible. Like, just an example, we talk about sugar, how bad it is, because, we have people in the gym that some guys, we get them if they're overweight, so we get them. I have a good doctor. Dr. Samir is one of our friends there. He's got a clinic there. So we got the guy, we send them to blood test, and then, everything comes, and then we check, and then it's like, okay, whatever he's on. So we try to supplement the guy, put him on the diet. Of course, if the person wants, Andrew comes, Andrew's already in shape, he doesn't need, but people that is overweight, we try always to take care of it. So we had many people in the gym that they lost like 100 pounds,
wow.
80 pounds,
That's nuts.
Yeah, I always tell people, like, I can make you learn jiu-jitsu, lose weight, but, you're still ugly. I can make you win tournaments. I have a guy, actually, a Brazilian guy. He's one of the guys that he actually invests some of money for me in stocks. João.
I had no idea he was 50 fucking years, or how he's like 40
something.
40s.
Yeah, but João was big, bro. And he's this geek guy. Like, he's amazing, smart. Like, passed like #1 University of Chicago in math.
Wow.
Like, this guy is like, crazy. So he, I put some money with him for stocks and stuff. So he's amazing. And he's the one, actually, one of our partners for the Geek Company.
Okay.
Yeah, he's super. And me and my brother, Thiago. And, of course, I have Big Chris. Big Chris is partner of everything I do because, and I have Chris, that she's one of the managers too, but Big Chris is the guy that, he's my man. It's like he does everything. But it is crazy how eating, bad is horrible. For example, Christmas, we got the Brazilian Christmas, just like you guys. We eat a lot of sweets. Dude, I ate, and I don't like sweets, but there's few sweets I remember back in the days, my mom and all that stuff. So, dude, those sweets, I'm eating them. I take 2-3 days, that's all I eat. Dude, on the 4th day, and I don't get sick. Like, strep throat, nothing. I don't. I forgot. I mean, I think we were talking about one day in the gym. I was asking the guy, when was the last time you said that I didn't come to the gym because I was sick? And I was like, never. Traveling, work, yes, but never. And because my blood is always alkaline. So the moment you start eating so much sugar, bad food becomes acidic, and then you're in trouble. And dude, on the 4th day, my throat starts scratching, and I'm like, and it start hurting, and I'm like, I'm gonna get sick. And then right away, I make this ginger lemon juice, and I start throwing myself on that. And 2nd day, throat is fine.
That's insane. Your body's probably just not used to that at all either, because you're so fucking clean.
No. I mean, let's put it this way. Once in a while, I got to cheat. I love pizza. I love burger, fries. But I try not to, because, like I said, my metabolism is not the same. So if I eat bad, man, it will reflect, on the mats, and I depend on my body.
Yeah.
I do. A lot of people don't. So I gotta, make sure that I slow down the process of getting older, and beat up in my recovery. Thank God I have Dr. Chris with us, that help us out. So every Friday I got my massage, my acupuncture with Dr. Carlos, so I'm always trying to keep it,
You live like a peak athlete.
I'm not like like this guy's like it's all nice and young, good looking, so
he can still kick all of our ass.
I know, right?
we were talking about it before. We're like if us three came at him, what are the odds we
what
come
if
out
it's all
like
three
pretty
of us
low
at the same time?
Especially after
die.
Well,
no, I don't think so. I think I'm gonna get beat up by 3 of you guys.
I don't know.
We might get beat up, but we're going down on his list. And in 10 years, he's gonna have to kick our ass.
He's gonna come back with a walker. He's like,
I'll at least I'll have a chance one by one. Maybe I have a chance.
Oh my god! So you were just in. So for the UFC stuff and everything, your first fighter you got, was it Ben? That was in the UFC already?
Yeah, Ben was in the UFC already. So what happened is I used to, let me remember how we started. My brother used to teach, I think, at Duke Rufus. So Duke Rufus was in our association for Jiu-Jitsu at the time. And Duke Rufus is one of, the best coaches, and because of actually Duke, I actually got into the UFC with Ben. Actually, I started doing some stuff with Anthony Pettis.
Oh, wow.
At the time, before he became a champion, his brother Sergio. But the problem is my brother was all the way in Wisconsin. I was all the way in Chicago, downtown. So for Pettis, he came a couple of times and he wants to work, but it was pretty hard because it was probably 3 hours, from Milwaukee all the way to Chicago. So it made no sense. And there was a lot of good jiu-jitsu guys there too. So it kind of didn't go through, but I went there. I did seminar there. My brother was there for a little bit, but then eventually I got introduced to Ben in one of the MMA fights. Actually, my brother was the fight that my brother fought MMA. He won. And then Ben, Duke goes like, oh, this is Ben Rothwell. And then that's how we met. And then it was, it was a great journey because when he started, I don't think he was even ranked. We got him to be #1 in UFC. So it was a pretty cool thing, like he got 5 wins in a row. We got the submission of the year against Josh Burnett with the GoGo Choke.
The GoGo Choke.
The GoGo Choke.
Did you bring up the Joe Rogan clip?
Have you seen that before?
Yeah. Actually, everybody went there's like, dude, you and Joe Rogan. I'm like, I never been Joe Rogan. No, he's talking about you right now. I'm like, oh, really? Yes. Dude, you're everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. It's funny because people were saying, and I'm like, whatever. But and then I got a bunch of people like, look, he's talking, whatever, 3 minutes or whatever. He's just talking about you, about Luiz, and so it's funny because when Ben submit Mitrione with the GoGo Choke, everybody's like, what is this? A 10-finger guillotine? And then, no, this is the GoGo Choke by Luiz Claudio.
It's like a trade secret, right? No one knows how to do it.
Yeah, and it took a long time. People don't understand MMA is hard, bro. Mm-hmm. For you to hit something perfect in a professional fighter, it's really tough.
Especially when they're hitting you and everything. Yeah, it's
you hit with your 2 hands and there's punches coming from everywhere. So it's tough.
Yeah.
So when he submit Mitrione, a lot of people like, oh yeah, but Mitrione didn't have like a good ground game. He was more of a brawler. But when he submit Josh Burnett, it was big because Josh Burnett hasn't to that point he was never been submitted in the UFC.
Wow.
And before he takes that fight, I think it was another fighter. It was Burnett and somebody else, and he goes like, which one? I'm like, the other one. He goes, you don't think I can take Burnett? I say, no, I think you can take Burnett, but the other fighter is a lot better. But somehow the other fighter didn't take the fight, and we had to fight Burnett. And I was like, fuck. And Burnett,
he's tough,
bro. And at the time, he was, he was still like there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he was winning fights. So, and he's amazing on the ground. His leg locks and, his headlock. He submit the guy with the headlock. What was the?
I've seen that one.
So famous too. That like a huge white.
I forget his name.
Famous. So we talked about the other day about this shit. This guy's so good. He's amazing. I forgot his name.
I can't think of it. I know what you're talking about. They're against the cage. He had that fucking the bulldog choke right there.
But also there was actually a submission tournament that Burnett beat this guy. Oh. Yes, famous guy.
Damn.
Fuck. But anyway, for me, it was like we trained everything possible on the ground, with Ben. And it was like, dude, and he's like, do you think I can get the GoGo? I said, look, man, you're going to do your stand-up, and I want you to pressure as much as you can. And this is the thing with Ben. If he hits you, you don't want to be exchanging. If he hits you, if it goes his way, he's going to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how heavy weights are. Yeah. If you let the guy drive towards you, you're gonna lose that fight if you don't do anything right away because there's so power. There's a lot of power.
Power's got to be insane behind a punch like that.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? So the guys that charge right away, most of the times are the winners on the fights. Makes sense. So I said, charge, don't give him space. And all the 5 wins, it was him charging. It was him going against them. The moment he let somebody come, that's the fights that we lost. You know? So on Burnett, he pressured Burnett. And when he pressured Burnett, shoot to try to do a takedown. And he caught that. Yeah, it was amazing. So
You probably went fucking
Like,
nuts.
yeah, were you fired up?
I screamed so much. It was so funny because me and Chuck were running behind the cage.
I remember seeing
and then, and somebody later, somebody told me, but it was so funny because like, who are the two midgets jumping behind the cage? I was like, what the fuck?
Screaming.
Dude, but that choke is so fucking
It's so,
sneaky.
yeah.
It hurts
If
too.
if I get it, you
Dude,
tap.
it's like 2 seconds.
And it's not a choke. It's right on the Adam map. So
You feel it like just.
oh, dude, it's bad. You feel like you're gonna die. Josh Barnett. I don't think he would tap for a normal choke. He would not. Don't think so. He's too good. He's too strong. You know, and dude, he's been choking his whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's never been tapped before in MMA, and then it was a surprise. You know, so it was pretty cool because then they did a show. I think Hardy did a show, and they put it together. They do that 3D, you know, all that stuff, and they show, and they were talking. Okay, we think this is how the GoGo Choke is and all that stuff. And so I think we were, I don't know if we were Ireland or Croatia for one of Ben's fight. And as we go in the elevator, you know, Hardy is in the elevator. He goes like, "Did I get it?" And Ben looks at him and goes like, fuck. So he did like a whole show on the GoGo Chokes, you know. It was actually, they kind of, all the submissions and the knockout, they would kind of show how it works. It was a pretty cool thing that he was doing it for the UFC. And he goes like, "Can you show me?" And Ben like, "No." I said, "I can do it on you." And then I hit it. He goes like, "How do you do it? How?" He goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "Hardy, you got to go." It was funny because, you know, Brian Stan, I have a video of Brian Stan came to me. He goes like, "Okay, I need to know this. You got to show me. Can you do it on me?" And so I did it in their film. I think it's on my Instagram, LCCT BJJ. So I hit it on him and he goes like, "Man." And Mike Valli was there and Rick Little was there too. You know, we're all laughing. And Brian Stanman is one of the nicest person I ever met from the UFC. This guy is a gentleman. And he goes, "Can I defend?" I'm like, yeah. So when he defends, it made it worse. Ooh. And then he's like, okay. And then he started laughing. We all laughing. He goes like, "Oh my God, bro, this is legit." You know, this is really, so everybody, you know, like Joe Rogan asked me, you know, everybody like, I don't remember if I did to Joe, but I think we were right before coming in and Joe, you know, he was talking about, he's like, "Dude, it's fucking GoGo, man." And this, you know, Joe Rogan is amazing, you know, so it was pretty cool. You know, I wish Julianna would hit one of those, you know, one day. That would be pretty insane.
That'd be nuts.
Know, that would be insane. But just by her, you know, submitting, you know, the GOAT, you know, they never lost before, and, you know, after she got the title. So that was a big thing too, you know.
That first fight, when you were going in, were you surprised? Obviously every coach is going to root for their fighter, obviously. And like, did you see holes in Nunes' game that you wanted to exploit?
I mean, think about it, bro. Everybody has somewhere, you know. Some guys are really, and that's what we do, you know. We got the videos and all the coaches study, and then we all sit down, then we talk, you know. And then I go see when she trains with Mike and, you know, the other coaches, Gregory, or Rick. So we always try to kind of sit down and, you know, talk. Hey, I saw this in the training. I saw that. So we study a lot the other person. Amanda, you know, it's a definite. Come on, she wouldn't be Amanda, you know, if she wouldn't win everybody. So she is the GOAT. She was and she is. Let's put it this way. Let's respect her, right? But I feel like everybody can't lose in the right time and the right fight. So on the first time, the question is, do you think Julianna was going to beat her? I thought Julianna could beat her. Yes, 100%, because we all know that Amanda, just like any other fighter, don't like to be pressured. Dude, nobody likes to fight under pressure. Nobody. And if you see guys, you know, that lost their fights, that they were not losing. They lost because the other fighter didn't let them charge, or you know what I'm saying.
It's like Wilder versus Fury.
Didn't
You
let
know what
them
I'm
get
saying?
their
So
game
they're not fighting here. So Julianna went there and she goes like, okay, you're the GOAT, but I'm Julianna Pena. Who cares? And she went, and she wasn't afraid to do it, because when you're fighting against a champion, you hesitate. You know what I'm saying? You're like, should I? Too bad. Should I? You got 10 punches already. You know what I'm saying? So you're always a step behind, and that's what you see. You know what I'm saying? And Julianna didn't. She went for, you know, and I think that surprised Amanda a lot. Surprised the whole world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you see some of Amanda's fight, she got a couple fights that I think, you know, was too easy for her, because she's already so good. So, but, you know, some people are like, oh yeah, you got a fighter that she was like 5 losses and 5 wins.
Yeah.
Of course she's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there's some fights, like against Valentina, she almost lost.
That was a close fight.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe she even lost, and they didn't give it to Valentina, you know? And then I think when Julianna fought, Julianna fought the perfect fight, perfect day. Everything, it was her night.
Stars
Everything
aligned.
worked, you know, and Amanda was always a step behind, and she got tired.
Yeah.
She did get tired, you know. And bro, Julianna is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the thing with a lot of people too is when Julianna started talking, a lot of people took it like, well, she's talking. And bro, if she wouldn't have talked anything about it, she wouldn't get the title shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and she was like, I think 3 straight wins, you know, and back in the UFC 200, Amanda said she was going to fight her. And she didn't. She got other fights. I'm not saying Amanda was afraid of Julianna. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those fighters is like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not a good fight. I understand why I'm going to fight the guy that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I have all these guys and I have Khabib. Okay, I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Khabib I'll fight for, you know. Dude, we're talking about a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you probably wanted to get a fight. A lot of people, of course, you're there to fight anybody. But if you can choose,
Get
business.
The, get
Yeah.
the views, get the money. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Not gonna get hit in the face for free.
exactly. So I think it was a great surprise for all of us. It proved that, you know, she's beatable. She is beatable.
She is
You
obviously.
know, obviously everybody is. You know, if you make, and this is the thing, MMA, dude, you can be. I mean, look at what was the last fight? I think Leonard, the guy that beat
Leon Edwards versus Usman.
who would in the
Oh,
1,000
yeah.
years, bro?
Yeah.
Who in
Yeah.
1,000 years would think that would happen? But
All it takes
MMA
is
does.
Literally.
One kick.
All it takes is one shot.
People try to say, "Oh, it's a fluke." No, but it happened. It's
bro,
fighting.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Yeah, you and Korea Zombie. Literally 5 seconds to the end. Elbow up. Korea. I don't know if you saw the fight.
I've seen the highlight.
You have seen the clip.
Bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's MMA.
Especially because they're all professionals too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you have like one opening, they're gonna take it.
Yes.
I hate that argument. It was there's no flukes in that.
That's
There's
someone
a fluke, but like
giving
not like that.
a little
It's
Yeah,
fighting.
like some people says, oh yeah, Amanda sold herself. You know, she just want to make money, bro. She lost the fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's give the press for Julianna. She did an amazing job. She worked hard all this year. Man, she was the first woman to win the Tough House.
Yeah.
And she's been winning a bunch of tough fights. You know what I'm saying? She put herself there. So she never disrespected Amanda. And I want to make that clear. And all she wanted, it's like, for example, right now, okay? So this is how unfair it is. So she fights the first fight. She submit Amanda. That hasn't been submitted since she got the title, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's a big leverage for Julianna. Mm-hmm. 3 months later, 4 months later, we got the Tough House. Julianna's we're already doing the Tough House, right? Her and then 3 months later, they're fighting. So 7 months after she got the title, she gave the opportunity for Amanda to fight back. Didn't take any rest. She got a bunch of injuries that we never said it before. I'm saying now because it's past. Now I can say a bunch of injuries, right? That I know a lot of people would not fight. And she showed up and she won.
Wow.
And I can't say that now. But now Amanda hasn't given anything back.
I've seen that.
Because she said, well, I won. I don't need to prove anything else. Wait a minute. Julianna fought. Julianna didn't fight her game, okay? It wasn't her night, right? I think she fought 40%, 30% what she is able to, because once she's 100%, we can beat Amanda. Do you understand? Yes, let's give to Amanda. She did a great job, right? This time, it wasn't a bad camp. No, I just think 7 months was too fast. We went straight for a camp, and then right away, like she didn't have any time to rest, bro. And there's no excuse. Amanda won. Julianna won. Now, give her the third fight.
Yeah.
Because it's 1-1 and you did not submit and you did not knock her out. And if you really think about it, she's like, well, I didn't want to. She said that. Once she was walking crunches. She couldn't walk after the fight. And there's videos of. And there's video of after the interview, she's going on a wheelchair. That's how bad she was. And Dana White said that Julianna was going to have maybe plastic surgery. Bro, 3:30 in the morning, Julianna was back in the room. She got stitches. She was fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She lost the fight. Let's give it to Amanda. She won the fight. Let's give it to Julianna. But hey, she was honorable to give you the chance to fight. So let's give Julianna now the fight, man.
Especially somebody who's claimed as unbeatable, and then we have Julianna beat her. Yeah. Why would you not give her a fucking fight?
And that's the thing. So it's like Julianna's like, right on the day, hey, I will give you the rematch. You know what I'm saying? What she should have done, hey, Julianna, just to make sure, 1-1, I'm gonna give you the rematch.
It doesn't happen much.
And then
like
you hear some stupid, you can fight with internet, but you see some guys like, oh yeah, Amanda gets it tighter. She doesn't need anything. Bro, it's 1-1 and she submitted her.
Yeah.
Like all the fights that we know that goes 1-1, they always go for the third fight. Unless was Aldo and McGregor.
Yeah.
Why McGregor did not give the third fight?
Or you mean Diaz?
No. Aldo and McGregor, remember?
They fought twice or once?
Once.
You're
saying like they got it. Yeah.
He never gave in the second fight.
Yeah.
McGregor never gave the second fight. Why?
Because
he knows.
Didn't want to lose.
One, it's really tough. And I know why Amanda don't want to give the fight, because it's really tough for her to go to 135. So don't fight anymore. Say, hey, Julianna, it's 1-1. I'm going to retire 1-1. I'm just going to keep my 145. Fight for the 135. You're the champion. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or give the chance for her to fight you again, or give the title.
Yeah, they do need to like. How does that go behind the scenes?
And
like,
bro, if you really think about it, she was like almost. I think I don't know if I'm wrong. A year or 2 years on the 135 that nobody fought because Amanda didn't fight anybody because she was fighting 145.
And the belt was held up.
So don't do that, man. If you're not gonna fight, like take the belt away, let the other people fight.
And it's like Yuri Prochaska.
Yeah.
He gets injured, he dropped the belt. Says go for it. Yuri did.
That's honor, bro.
Yeah.
That's a man. That's, I think, the attitude I feel like. I think Amanda should be fair. And once again, I don't like to talk shit about any fighter. Yeah. I respect Amanda, but I don't think it's fair what she's doing.
Yeah.
She should say like, hey, when? Because she's already been contacted. They already contact her. And the answer, I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to be in Brazil. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Man, just say yes. I'll give her the rematch. Not now. I need some time off because I injured myself. Right? Point, yeah. I will fight her in the middle of the year. Settle. Why Julianna has to fight somebody else? Amanda didn't fight anybody else for the rematch. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I think, something that pisses me off. And I guarantee you, it's a fight that everybody wants to see again. It will sell.
For sure.
Yeah.
Maybe before not, but now
the trilogy, it's like, No one else has beat. No one's fucking beat her.
Come on, man. You know,
That doesn't make. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, bro.
make sense.
Because it is a
doesn't.
money fight too. Like I mean,
it
like you
is.
said,
They're
that's a
all
money
gonna.
fight.
Everybody,
Yeah.
look. The fan's gonna win. You know, and the fighter's gonna win. Everybody's
Everyone's
gonna
gonna
win.
Have they talked about
Everybody.
who she wants to line him, like who they want to line Nunes up with next?
I don't know exactly
Yeah.
because you know I know a few things, but I don't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
want to say it because
Yeah.
I don't know it's true, and I might be saying bullshit in here, so I
Yeah.
don't want to say it. But I don't think it shouldn't be anybody else than Julianna.
Yeah.
You know, and Julianna is talking, and it makes Julianna. You know, some people's like, oh, she's talking a lot,
was
bro.
not, dude.
All she's doing is she just wants the right to fight.
Yeah.
Somebody that she
Someone that she already beat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And she gave her the opportunity right off the bat.
Exactly.
And people,
man.
people,
just to be fair,
people think it's just because she was champion, she deserves a second fight. Well, it should go both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree 100%, man, 100%. But you know, there's a lot of things that happens, you know, in the world of MMA, and you know, there's some things that I think it's super unfair.
Yeah.
You know, for some fighters, you know, we know that.
Yeah, that's a big thing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the way that the fighters are treated in the UFC.
You know, and a lot of people, you know, complain, but I don't like to talk bad about it because I think if you have a good manager, right, he should be fighting for you and make things happen. So at the end of the day, I think the UFC protects themselves. They got to make money. It's business,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
You got business, I got business.
Yeah.
You know, if everybody walks to your business and goes, I'm going to do this and take this, and wait a minute, what are you going to bring to the
Yeah.
business? You know?
Yeah.
And I kind of like, okay, if you becomes a big time, you're gonna make big time money. But some people, they become big time, but they're still making not enough money. It's a manager. Who is your manager?
Yeah.
That you have you know what I'm saying? You have such a great career, a lot of wins, but then you're not making the money. Something is wrong, because then
True.
like a kid shows up and then he's making, you know, thousands of dollars.
Like Sean O'Malley. Like
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Why? Because he's got followers, you know.
He's got the personality, he's got
Yeah.
the management, the whole thing.
Now you're a fighter, and then you fight, and then you disappear. You're not also.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have to drag the attention to yourself too.
Yeah, people
And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Unfortunately, is what the UFC is. It's a lot of people. It is the martial arts, the respect as a samurai, but bro, also it's entertainment. You gotta make people follow you.
Gladiator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
still
you're a gladiator.
It is. We're still, you know, still all the people sitting, drinking beer, watching guys going, you know,
Yeah.
and fight
basically
themselves,
killing each
killing
other.
each
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
you know, and everybody around having fun, you know, they should get paid. I agree.
Yeah.
Now, if there's a law of this and how it is, and you know, but when you go to the UFC, man, too, when you get there, you know, and you become somebody, it's really nice. You know,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people always bring the bad, but man, you know, when you go to Vegas, you know, the UFC Institute and all that stuff, you know, you get treated for free. You eat that for free if you're a fighter. You train that for free. All you got to do is just, you know, set your time. It's pretty cool.
Is it awesome? Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of
cool
people talk shit
experience.
about the UFC, and I'm not kissing ass.
Yeah.
But I'm also, I like I said,
Yeah.
there's things
Pros
that I
and
don't
cons.
like, but there's things that like, hey, there's any other you know, place does what the UFC does.
Yeah, there's no organizations really quite as clse to
No,
to
bro,
that.
no. Like when you know you know, when we travel, like when we went for Abu Dhabi and she fought Sarah McMahon, you know, when I got to Abu Dhabi, I think I went with Ben, or first, I don't know. I went there 3 times, I think, or 4 times, whatever. So when we got to Abu Dhabi, bro, you know, we got in this hotel, the Dhabi hotel, you know, it's like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, like you travel like the plane, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, the plane was for the UFC only.
Oh wow.
That's so sick.
Yeah, you know, one of those Emirates.
Yeah.
Bro, we go to the lounge, first class. Dude, it's like, man.
It's the most badass
Yeah,
passenger
that's-
list on the planet.
Bro,
All the
and you're in
passengers
the
are just
plane,
killers.
And yes, and you have, dude, in the plane, filet mignon, salmon. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes. And you got there in the lounge and you're like, man. Then once you get to the place, it's like, and I've been around a lot of places in the world in very nice hotels. Bro, when I got there, I was like, what
Next level.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm literally, my room, there's a racetrack. Dude, the hotel is built inside, in the middle of the racetrack.
Oh, that's
Oh
awesome.
my
And they built like this lake river for all the yachts, for them to come and park right there so they can watch, just like in Monaco.
Wow.
Dude.
Yes,
so
bro.
cool.
Yes, and it's funny because every hotel you go, you got to pay for your water and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Unless you're in the UFC hotels, you know, you go to the training room, there's water for you and all that stuff. Dude, this place, I think there was 3 restaurants there or 4 restaurants there that we could go in any one of them and eat whatever you want
That is amazing.
all day.
We got to get on a fight crew.
Yeah.
Bro,
Literally.
I'm seriously, it was amazing. There was few things that you couldn't take, like, you know, that was too expensive, but like everybody was eating nice.
Nice shit.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you wake up and you see all this, you know, racetrack. It would be, you know, stock car for Formula 3 or whatever. You know, they racing all day. It's like, man, they have their own beach that they...
That's
The
awesome.
money there's just ridiculous.
Ridiculous. I always say, what is the place I have the most? Dubai and Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
For me, it's sick. So you walk in the whole place, and there's, you know, waters that you can just water and cappuccino, like machines of cappuccino everywhere. Like I drink off all day long. I was all hype. Let's train.
I'm gonna fight you.
I train every day, bro. Every day.
How many coaches are with the crew? Like, how many coaches does a fighter typically bring?
If it's a normal fight, three coaches only. If it's a champion, you can take 5.
Oh, wow.
But then normally it's never 5 coaches, like 3 coaches or
It's like
4
a
coaches.
grappling coach and a striking coach. that
Striking,
kind of thing.
yeah, jiu-jitsu.
Does the manager go always too? Or no?
Yeah, the manager goes, but some managers, they go with the fighters to, you know, up there to see the fight. But a lot of the managers just stay, you know, in the front row watching the fighters.
okay.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, like once again, man, I think, you know, if you're not getting paid in the UFC, is because somebody should be fighting for you, or you're not dragging enough attention. Now, if you're big time and you're not making the money, bro, change your manager, you know,
Yeah.
get somebody.
Yeah, because there's like opportunities to make money off brand deals and like all these other things
Yeah,
too. So
yeah.
it's not just from fighting,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
The fighting just gets the attention. Then you can make your money.
You need to have someone that, you know, because also it you know how it is, it's sports.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make that money on that time limit. So you
Yeah, you
better,
don't have a time.
if it's your parents, if manager, whoever's going to take care of your business, it should be someone, you know, or your coach, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a fast, you know.
Especially in a sport like that where it's like you're getting punched in
It
the
could
face.
be your
Yeah.
last fight. Any fight could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, bro, you know, and we've seen it before. You know, Julianna had surgery on the knee. You know, like she
Yeah.
lost all the everything on the knee.
Oh God.
In one of the training, you know, the guy tried to take her down, and you know, she blew. I think one knee or both knees.
Oh
And
God.
and the UFC took care of her, and I think she went. I think to UCLA, and had the best, you know, knee guy that in her. But
Oh, and they took care of the.
yeah, they took care of her.
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool.
they help her. So
See,
it's
that's
pretty cool.
something to be
Yeah,
noted
that's
right there.
that's
A lot of
pretty
people
cool.
don't
I
think
didn't know
that
that.
happens.
I didn't know
yeah.
that they did that. That they would take
Yeah.
care of their.
That'd be pretty
medical-
funny, right? They break the tear the ligament.
It depends where how you know, if you hurt during the fights, they'll take care of everything, even after, if you feel something or if your knees messed up, so things like that. So, which is fair.
Yeah.
But you know, there's always fights that, you know, they want to have a union, they want to have this, and they want to have that. Which I think if you have that in football, so I don't know, but if you do have that in football or this a sport or that sport, you should have in the UFC. I think they're big enough now, so you know the fighters, they
Yeah.
can get taken care of it, or you know, like health insurance and stuff like that. I think it should be, you know, something that they could, you know, I think it would be cool, you know,
Yeah.
because you know,
That's
man,
not that big of an ask either for
I don't
things
think
like
so.
insurance.
I
like
don't
it's-
think so.
That
I
would,
think-
that would quiet a lot of mouths that,
Yeah,
that say
yeah,
stuff.
sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And I think it would be cool. I mean, it would be cool because, dude, everybody loves the UFC. You know, all the fighters want to be in
Yeah.
the UFC. you
It's only
know?
getting bigger. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, And now, you know, you have bare knuckles. Some guys there are retiring from the UFC. They jump in there because they, you know, they might. match what they're paying, but then they have the sponsors and then they make more money there. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's an important thing too. You know, you have Bellator that does a good job. PFL is strong now. They're paying good money. You know, I think there's a Brazilian guy, Cara de Sapato, shoes face. You know, I think he got cut from the UFC. He went to PFL and he won the Grand Prix and he won $1 million.
No way.
Wow. Yes, bro.
Jake Paul
was this
got
last
signed to
week or
them.
some shit?
No,
Jake
it
Paul,
was
he's
a
an
couple
equity
months
I
ago.
saw some fight last week.
Yeah.
They brought a big $1 million check for this
right?
guy.
Like, and it was a guy that got cut, you know. So I think it's cool that even though, okay, if you're not doing well in the UFC and you could go to maybe some other, you know,
I feel like that's
you know,
newer,
PFL.
right?
Yeah.
Because they really didn't have too much competition until like the last
No.
maybe 2 years.
Yes.
It started coming up a little bit more.
And I think and I think you got
One FC.
One FC. You got a bunch of fighters that. I mean, what's Mighty
Demetrius Johnson.
Dude,
He went over there.
how did they let him go?
He did, but he had all the ability, but just maybe not the it factor.
I think they need
he was
guys like
fucking-
you to do his marketing. You know
Exactly. Yeah, right?
So
Many
just so you
fighters
guys
need us.
understand, these guys are the marketing guys, man. You want to make money, you got to contract, you got to hire.
We'll
these
help it
guys.
out.
That's right.
Seriously, yes. I think I'm a firm believer. You know, my son Hanzo, he wants to fight, and you know, and as a teenager, you know, he doesn't want to do stuff. I don't want to post. Anyways, I was like, dude, you don't understand. If you get in the UFC and you got 5 followers, you're gonna get 5,000.
Yeah, look at
Look
Jake
at this.
Paul. Jake Paul built a whole career on
Best
followers.
example. Look at the kid who just popped up, the youngest UFC. You know,
Mexican
that
kid,
kid.
yes.
Yeah.
how old is he? 18.
Yeah,
It's insane.
crazy.
18, bro.
He went home
You
to his
know?
parents' house
That's
after the fight.
insane.
Exactly.
That kid,
That's
did
so
he say like he
cool.
doesn't even have a car or he drives like his brother drives him in a minivan or something?
That's so cool, man. You know, like once again, you got to understand that marketing, anything today, if you don't have marketing, bro, you own a business, you don't have someone take care of the marketing, in trouble.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You are you will struggle.
He should be doing our sales pitches.
Bro, seriously, but you know, I love marketing. You know, I do love marketing, and I own business and I know how it is.
Yeah.
If you really don't have the marketing behind you, you're not going to make the money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People, it doesn't matter. Like it's like, okay, you're a diamond, but people don't see you.
Yeah, no one knows
That's
you
pretty much
exist.
what it is. You know, what I was gonna say about, for example, we do have some gyms that are affiliated with us. You know, you got this guy that's amazing jiu-jitsu here. He's like an ex-fighter, you know, and I know his gym is struggling. But then I know a guy that lives, you know, nowhere. You know, it's not a fighter, you know, has 500 students.
Wow.
Why? Marketing.
Yep.
Yeah.
They both present the same program that I have it in my association. But the thing is one marking the shit out of it, the other one doesn't.
Yep. And what do they expect? That, you know?
Bro, people, they're not going to come to your business if you don't have the market out there.
Exactly.
So,
Same thing with like Sugar Sean, right?
He's a genius with marketing.
He does
I
a
mean,
really
he's-
good job, and he
Yeah.
pushed his way in because I don't even think they really didn't push
did.
him like Patty. Like they pushed
and
Patty
he's,
so
and he's a
hard.
good fighter.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
he's loud.
That win that he had was such bullshit, dude.
oh, man, we're not even starting there.
That was such bullshit.
That's not fair. I
Yeah.
don't think it's fair.
They pushed him.
How
100%.
with the UFC, the judges are picked by the commission, right?
You think that's a little shady? Like a little boxing
I don't
action?
know. I don't want to talk too much because I might get in trouble.
Sometimes there might be some of that
I don't know,
for sure,
bro. I don't
especially
know.
with the decision ones.
Like the Patty one. That was
That
the
was
first time
bad.
I was like,
That's the first.
weird.
Like some of them are just like,
Bro, there's a lot.
Like the
there's
Sean
a
one.
lot once.
Sean
Like,
versus
really bad.
Sean versus the.
Remember that
fuck's his
rookie that
name?
he fought? That guy that was like a nobody just went in there, just got his ass
yeah.
beat for the whole fight. Everyone's like, how is this guy standing?
Muhadin or something. Muhadin. I forget his
zombie.
name.
Yeah.
He came
That
in
guy
like
was
last
nuts.
minute.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this guy's name? He just fought the Russian, Pyotr Yan. Like
Yeah.
that one is seeable because when
Yeah,
you go back and see,
yeah.
you're like, okay, Sean was actually like, touching him up a lot, but that one was
Yeah. I feel like
Pimlet?
people do make mistakes, but some things like, dude, come on, all of you guys saw that.
Yeah, right. Like
You know, like-
unanimous. You
Yeah,
got
yeah,
it. Like, come on.
Some guys,
There's no way.
I don't know. Like we'll go back and then we'll be here all night talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like it's tough, you know.
It's insane.
In his pinball, they're all like, well, how'd you say? Well, what's he supposed to say? I lost. They made a terrible decision.
Yeah.
You roll with
gotta
it.
roll with it.
You
Exactly.
got, I mean, they give it to you, you know. It's funny. I think some of the fighters, I don't know who was, happened the same stuff. And later on, the guy come back, goes, I watched the fight and I won. I'm like, okay. Sure. Okay. It makes you feel comfortable. Okay. That's fine. You know, I learned that okay is the best word in the world when you don't want to argue. You know, they're saying
point.
something that okay. Just shake my head. Okay.
I was always curious, like, people don't ever show like what it's like after the fight.
Yeah.
How are they like the fighters after the fight when they're back in the hotel room? Just
Are they knocked?
Well, it's like this. If we do have the win, best night of
You go party,
of the time.
go out.
Normally, bro, the guys are everybody's so tired.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we go eat, you know, and pretty much my fighters, they're all family. So it's like the family are there, you know, and we always, if we're not eating in the hotel, we go eat in a nice restaurant and we all eat, you know, they just don't want to party.
Yeah.
You know, it depends if it's a really tough fight, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, but they're, you know, the young guys and, you know, they want to go party and they always have the after party and stuff like that. But
Like
I've
McGregor's
seen
after
the
parties.
videos.
yeah, I haven't been one. So it's always like, I want to go because it's a 3 months camp. And when that is done, it's like, I just want to go to the hotel and,
Just eat pizza and sleep.
you know, dude, seriously, you know, it's like, thank God. Now it's bad. It's so bad when they lose. And it's worse when they hurt themselves.
Oh yeah, it's like
You
all
know,
that.
we had
yeah.
some good wins, but we had some bad losses, and fuck, it's a nightmare. It's so sad because you see the fighter, how much work they put, you know, and even though they lost, now they hurt, and you know they're in the room in pain and. Or we go straight to the hospital, which, you know, you're all night in the hospital, man.
Yes.
You know, it sucks. It is really bad.
I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah,
that.
the fighters, man, you know, like people don't understand how hard it is those 3 months for actually a fighter to be on point on the day of the fight. Because, dude, they hurt themselves during training. Like, they do hurt themselves. And, I mean, think about it. If I'm a coach and I'm always hurt, somehow, oh, my finger, look, from Rematch today. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, my neck is hurt. Now, imagine you're doing that every day. You go wrestling section, lifting, and then you go kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu.
and 100% the whole time.
Yeah.
And it is always specific training, you know, because you got to put a plan together, and then it's like you don't want to fight for that person, but you want to make sure that what you have, it will work when you get there, the things that the person does well, but also you need to understand what this person has so we can stop them, you know, at their best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, okay, the guy's a wrestler. You can get taken down. So you're going to have a wrestler take your ass down.
Yeah.
So imagine you got to shoot
Constantly.
for
Yeah.
3 months, bro.
Yeah.
Not for that week. It's 3 months.
That's tough.
It's tough. You know, it's really tough. It's the fighters are definitely warriors.
Are they on like 7 days a week too for that whole 3 months? Or do
Yes,
they, take a day
they
off,
don't
or-
train Sundays, right? But they train the rest of the day. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
insane.
Literally,
How long are their days like throughout the
bro, all day.
Really?
Well, you know, it's like they train in the morning. You know, like Coach Mike's is early morning. Me is at 12, and then I know Coach Gregory is at night, and then what else? And then they have wrestling at Mike's too. So you know, it depends, but it's like 3 times training. You know, depending on the day. Plus, don't forget, you know, you got the cardio too. So it's like, dude. You know, it's tough, bro. It's a really tough life. It's not an easy life.
Yeah.
That cardio is
You gotta really want that.
insane. Like,
No, yeah.
the cardio
you gotta,
doesn't even have
you really gotta love it. You gotta love to
Yeah.
get punched,
Yeah.
hurt. You know what I'm saying? And to literally to raise from hell. every day.
Do you guys start the weight cut right when the camp starts too, or do you wait until like a month out? Or
No, normally
So-
you start right away.
Yeah.
You know, you start because you don't want to leave for the last month.
Right.
Or you don't want to leave for the last. I don't like my fighters to cut, you know, too close to the fight.
Yeah, 'cause
drastic
it's
amount of
drained-
weight.
Yeah.
Drained going
But you
in
know,
there.
I had guys that I worked with. They were not my fighters, but they came to me to do that camp. Not saying names, but I had a guy one time the week of the fight, like Monday, fight Saturday. I said, "Bro, what's your weight now?" I see the guy's so big. What's your weight? Oh, I'm still 25 off. 25 pounds
Oh,
off?
You know,
Yeah.
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 25?
That's Hell Week.
that's true Hell Week.
Yeah, that's Hell
I think
Week.
15 is already a lot. Not
Yeah.
25.
Damn.
By the last day, I'm like, the last 3 pounds was like, there's no way he's gonna make it. In my head, I told the other coach, I'm like, bro.
Get the clippers out, trim his hair. Trim
So
all
I
whatever you can
rather have, you know, the person like 3 weeks before the fight already on weight, used to that weight.
Yeah.
You know, very close, 5 pounds, 7 pounds most. You know, I feel like 10 is a lot.
Yeah.
But 8 pounds, maybe 7 pounds would be prime because you still, you know, because you want to still have that, and then you cut it, and then you get back at least, you know, 8 pounds on the day of the fight, 7 pounds, whatever. You know,
It's
crazy.
crazy.
Bro.
Like, like
I do not miss that.
Like-
in wrestling, cutting
Yeah,
those. So
yeah.
much.
My son is in wrestling now, so he's like, his life is like, okay, weight this, weight that, weight this. I'm like, dude, just jump up. No, I want to this year, I want to do this one, and then next year I'll go up. You know.
That's a hard
like
life.
fucking the guy who just beat Adesanya Pereira.
Yeah.
He's massive.
Bro, he's massive.
Massive for that weight.
Massive.
They were saying he had to drop like 35, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, Lamas used to be 178, so let's put 180, and he used to fight at 145.
Damn.
It's crazy.
Yeah, like I see him after camp, you know, he comes to the gym to train, and then I look at him and he's so big, you know, and then like week of the fight, I look at him and I'm like, where is the other guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, he was so skinny 145. It's like, dude, how can you make it 145? You know, it's like his head is so big. It's like they already got this big ass head. It's like the 135 is your head. He's like, shut up, coach. You know, what a yeah.
Do they just feast after the weigh-ins? Do you just
Yeah.
go? Is that just
Well, they actually now
have to be
everything in the
smart,
UFC they're very on point on it. You can cut a lot of weight, so you got to have like a specific. I don't know. I forgot the amount exactly. You got to get that at this amount that they allow you, and then day after the day of the weigh-ins, when you're done, they have these bags, you know, with everything, all the stuff that you can take to hydrate.
okay.
Yeah, it's really nice. And they send the food to you. So like what you're going to eat. So it's pretty cool.
That's really nice.
Yeah. They do that to Julianna, you know, to Ben. I don't know if it's like that with all the fighters, but with Ayer. So they kind of, you know,
Put together something for you to go and eat.
yeah. So like I know the UFC brings them food, but this thing, it's like, you know, all the electrolytes and all that stuff, like they take really good care of them.
That's nice that they do
Yeah.
the weigh-ins the night before. Like I remember in wrestling, the weigh-ins were the day of your matches.
Oh, God.
Which was like so miserable because you'd go in there just drained all. You know, you've been cutting weight for like a week
It's
or
terrible.
whatever.
It's
You go
terrible.
in there and then you just weigh in. All you could really do is drink like a water and eat like a honey bagel or something
Go into
because
it.
you don't want to throw up in your match, so you can't like feast really. So you still go in just fucking.
It's got to be terrible for you.
Yeah, that's gotta be
It's
so
gonna be
bad.
terrible for you, the weight cuts. Like,
Yeah.
especially as like guys get older, they can't make they just don't want to go through that torture.
Especially
Anymore.
the
That's why a
young
lot of guys
people
move
doing
up.
it.
Yeah.
Young people doing it, I feel like it's
Yeah,
probably
when you're
really bad.
young, you know, your metabolism is there and you can still take it. But once you know, after your 30s, you know, that's when it slows down more, 35. And then you see a lot of guys going up on the weight because they can't hold it. They can't handle it anymore. They can't hit that weight anymore. It sucks.
Jesus, being with the fighters, is it like you obviously have to come at? Does each fighter that you've worked with have a different type of? Let me see how to say this.
Style?
It's not like style of training that they like to go through. Like, do you like base it around like the fighter in the camp, and like, is there certain things that like are different, obviously per fight, but like Yair is obviously going to train a lot different than Julianna does.
Well, the thing is this, I believe it's like the system is important. Your foundation is important, right? So I like to work Okay, the things that, what happens in MMA, you don't have like an X choke like you have in jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? So everything that you do in MMA, you can use the gi. So pretty much a lot of the stuff is you can hold the collar, you can hold the sleeve, you know what I'm saying? So yes, there's few different things, but the basics are basics.
Just
you know what I'm saying? The fundamentals are fundamental, it don't change. So what I like to do, I have a program that I make all of them goes through, right? So they know how to defend armbar, triangle, hand triangle, anything that they would get in the fight. You know what I'm saying? We go over all that stuff. And then we make sure that, you know, the submissions are there, the takedowns are there, back take, escapes. So it's tough, you know, but it's, what I like about it is like how we have everything divided. I can work with them in those 3 months, you know, and, you know, in the beginning it's hard because in 3 months, you don't make a fight in 3 months. If they come and they don't know anything, you know, but after a couple of years working with you, you know, it's like they have that foundation, you know, it's like, you know how good Julianna is on the ground. Yeah. So it's like, dude, she's so good, you know, and it's like, okay, now, you know, it took some time, but now, you know, you're there.
She's ridiculous on the ground. Like even during the first Nunes fight, like she was just threatening the whole time, like on the ground. I was like, damn, dude. Like when she was on the ground with her, when Nunes had her on her back, I'm like, and I saw her just like constantly going for shit. I'm like, dude, I think she might get this. And like, just like she was constantly threatening with that. I forget it was like Kimura Americana she had. Yeah. I'm like, dude, like.
Yeah, no, when Nunes got the back, you know, it was like, once again, Nunes is so good, but dude, we train everything, all the escapes, and we train that escapes a lot, you know, and even on the second fight, Nunes got like really deep, or even worse than the first fight, and she still got out. So it's really hard to submit Julianna from the back. It happens. It can happen, right? We all make mistakes, but we train a lot, you know. I always say like, when you can't escape, it's like, you know, you got clip, you got elbow, you got punch, and then you got locked in the triangle, and, you know, those are the times that you're not even there. Yeah. You know, I always, like this week I had a guy, you know, it's like, oh, but I don't want to say much, but, you know, what about it just closes the elbow? And it's like, you know, it's like, you know, it was not a bad comment, but it's like people don't understand. Have you ever fought before? No. Okay. Have you ever got punched in
There's a lot going on.
Have you got punched? No. Okay. Have you fight like your ass bleeding off? No. Okay. So, I mean, don't you think after, you know, becoming a world champion, you not understand what is, when someone kicks, you got to check. You have to check. You know, when the person punches, you got to lift your elbows up in here. Yes. You know how it is, you know. But dude, you know, I always say that everybody is a great coach and a great fighter outside of the cage. Everybody's amazing. Everybody knows everything. Oh yeah, he make that mistake, that dumb. What? You were not there, bro. You don't know what happened. You know, it's like things happens because, you know, oh yeah, the fighter, because when you win, you're the best coach in the world or the best fighter in the world. When you lose, like, oh, I don't know about this fighter. I don't know about this coach, you know? And
like
you have all
the first fight.
You have all these people like, yeah, man, you know, I know that escape. I know.
You should have gone for this. You should have gone for that.
Yeah. It's always just like these random people in the bar.
Oh, God.
I just don't.
People that have never done anything or they did it for, you know, whatever, a month or something.
2 months. They did one
I just
class.
don't think they realize just
how hard it is.
We go 5 minutes, Shark Tank. I'm fucking, I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine going.
They don't understand.
They don't get it.
They don't get it, bro. You got knee in the face. You know, it's like I broke my nose a couple months ago.
White with their blood from their eyes.
Yeah. I broke my nose a couple months ago. Hands shoots for double. I spraw. But even though as I'm sprawling, he went so fast that it hits my leg and my nose hit the lower back. And I broke my nose. So I'm going like this. I'm like, I broke my nose. And he goes, no, you didn't. I said, I broke my nose. And I did this. He goes, you broke your nose. You know, the nose is like this. And I'm like, fuck. So I got the nose, I put it back in place.
And you're like, all right, let's go.
And then, bro, I put back in place, but that's it. That's it. It's like, you know, it's like your eyes it's like, oh man, I gotta ice this, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you don't want to break again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in the fight, you break your nose, you keep fighting.
You keep fighting, yeah.
So people have no idea.
Your eyes are watering.
Bro, they have no idea the pain. And it's like now you're thinking, shit, I'm bleeding. You can't breathe. Have you ever fought with your nose plugged and you have the mouthpiece and you try to breathe? People
And you're
have
getting
no-
hit again in the
They have
nose.
no idea, bro.
Yeah.
Or like when they break their hands.
They have no-
that's-
yeah.
That,
Yeah.
like, when
Why he's not punching?
Did you see?
His fucking hand hurts.
Did you see the guy that dislocated his shoulder?
Yeah.
And he was still
TJ
fighting.
Dillashaw?
Was that Dillashaw?
DJ Dillashaw, bro, he's a warrior.
Popped it back in.
Crazy.
Round 2 goes back. Dislocates. I was
Oh
like,
my
what?
Warrior.
God.
and he told them before, he's like, listen, my shoulder's probably going to pop out. Just let it go.
Yeah, dude, he's a
He's
beast.
a beast, bro.
Crazy.
I seen guys like dislocating the shoulders, and bro, the pain is insane.
Yeah, that
It looked like he was just cracking a
that.
knuckle. It was like no big deal for him. That's
I mean,
got to be painful.
yeah.
Man. Fuck.
I mean, all those in jiu-jitsu, in wrestling, or any injuries is terrible.
God, yeah.
It's terrible.
And they just don't. Oh, God. That shoulder one is
Yeah,
so. That
I
gets
couldn't
me fucking,
imagine.
Yeah, it's
that.
like I hurt my finger actually, but all of them are hurt, and then it's like this thing is it's like I can even close, but it's like pretty much all of them don't close. So it's like imagine you have to train, right? Because you got fights coming up, and your hand, it was like Adam Joe, he got MMA fight, he broke his hand, they did the surgery. And now it's being a year. Now he might have to do a surgery again. He can't punch. He had a fight now. He had to cancel the fight because he's gonna have to do a.
Did he get a plate?
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
Like, I had to get that shit right
pin,
here.
The pin is coming out,
Oh, God.
so he's got to remove that.
See, I get worried about that because I have the same shit in my hand right here.
Yeah,
I always get where I'm like, man, if I hit somebody, is it
no
going to.
MMA for you. Hit it like this.
Yes. All right.
Awesome. Well, cool. I think we got enough, man. Yeah, I think that was
you.
fucking awesome.
Yeah. So anytime I'm more into the jiu-jitsu. My whole life is in the jiu-jitsu. So everybody that comes, they're the fighters. I only work with the jiu-jitsu part. Everybody else, if they're in Wisconsin, I send them to Ben Rothwell gym. He's got a big gym there in Kenosha. And anybody that it's in Chicago, I send them to VFS or Coach Gregory for boxing. We got a good set here, and and that's my start in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And where's your gym at?
Where's your
everyone
gym
that-
at?
My
watching.
gym is in Schaumburg, 1154 South Roselle, Schaumburg, LCCT BJJ. You guys ever want to come down there? Welcome.
Come get your ass
We got
kicked.
some history. So being a black belt under Rickson Gracie, probably 30 years of jiu-jitsu now. I won a couple tournaments, back in the day.
Worlds. Yeah.
I watched that
World
one the other day.
champion.
Yeah, it was
I was
pretty
watching
cool.
that one the other day. The one you were versus the Asian kid.
Yeah, the final for
Yeah.
the world. Yeah, it
That
was
was
pretty cool. I fought my division, I won, and then I fought the open. And my first guy in the open is a 265-pound guy, 6'5".
Oh my God.
Yeah, this guy, man, he's, beard, huge. So it was funny because we were, I fought my division. I submit my, the fighters I fought. You probably saw that, and then I throw myself in the open, right? And so, and in the open anybody can go, and I'm thinking, hopefully I got like 2 or 3 fights that guys like maybe 160, 145, maybe 180, that's all good.
And you just get this offensive.
I think the first guy I had.
You just get this corn boy.
Yeah, I think the first guy I had is like a bye, and then the second guy, this huge, black guy, man, with a beard. He looks so mean. Right? He looks scary, bro. 265, So I'm sitting, they're calling his name, and then we're waiting. And, I'm like, oh my God, I got second bye. This is cool. I'm going to go like semi-final. Maybe I have only 2 fights. Maybe I win the open division, and then suddenly, this big guy coming. And then I remember, I don't know if it was Saulo Ribeiro or Shanji Ribeiro, very famous fighters, in jiu-jitsu. And they're all laughing. It goes like, I think it's that guy, And there was a group of Brazilian guys like, I think it's that guy. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And then the guy goes to the table, goes like, yeah. And then, they all start laughing. And I'm like, shit, no, it's the guy. So I walk to the guy and I'm trying to break a little bit, the ice. So I got there and I look at him, he's like 6'5", whatever. And I look up like this and I go like, hey, bro, you know, Monday, I got to go to work. Be nice on me. And bro, he just looked down like this. Like, but not, I don't think I can make that mean face. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He was serious.
bro,
It was
he
game
was
fucking
on
around.
business. I'm like, shit, he's going to hurt me. I'm like, shit, what did I do?
Like trying to be
I
nice
should
guy.
like, okay, cramp, you know, because I was cramping the whole tournament. So it was a cool fight. So I beat him. It was really nice. So
You beat him?
How'd you beat him? What'd you beat him with?
I do that. You got to see the fight. I think
the
it's on
GoGo.
it's on the YouTube too.
I want to find that shit.
I had him on a choke, right? On the X choke. I got him on the GoGo. I got him on the X choke. And when I got him on the X choke, I had a deep. And my chokes, I've been doing it for a while, so I know how to do it. And I had him, and I hear, and bro, I just felt those two giant hands on my hands, like on my wrist, and he goes like, and my hand was like this, right? And then I stand up and I move it away, and I'm like, okay, now he's gonna kill me. And then I'm going like this. I'm trying to stretch my fingers because they're cramping. And Thiago goes, get him! Two midgets, right? Get him! He's tired! And everybody's laughing. And I'm looking at him and I'm going, I'm cramping, motherfucker! I was cramping so bad I couldn't hold the guy. And I'm just running around like I'm gonna cramp. You know? And then I jump on a flying armbar, flying triangle armbar, and I had it right there, and time went off. So I beat him by points.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Yes. And then I fought another guy, Jiva. He's a very famous. He fought in the Bellator. They call him the arm collector. They're like, good luck. Now you have the arm collector. I say, look, nobody can be worse than this guy. And then, man, Jiva is like a black belt I used to see back in the days. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys, bro. He's, I don't know, 2-something. Thick, you know what I'm saying? Those guys that the hand is this big. And bro, I'm telling you, I think I have one of the best fights in my life against him.
Seriously?
It was really good, really good. I got him really well in the GoGo choke. I thought I had it, and he defended the position, but he went on my finger really bad.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he got out. And until today, I think I won the fight. But he beat me for, I think, one advantage. So it was pretty good, though.
That's
for me,
close, yeah.
you know, to be a small guy, I at least go there and have fun with those guys.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. And it was funny because one of the UFCs, he was there, you know, in the same room.
Oh, no
yeah.
shit.
And then, he looks at me, I look at him, and, you know, it's probably like the little motherfucker, you know. Yeah, we had a great fight. It was an honor to fight him.
And I was going to say, like, I always feel like with jiu-jitsu, like, you want to learn, maybe not always, like, obviously there's exceptions, but you want to learn from like a guy your size, because your technique needs to be so fucking crisp.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it's got to be good. You can't force weight over it.
No. Well, you know, just you know, before we see it, I was very blessed and lucky to be able to train with Rickson, you know, and get him taking me under his wings. I'm very blessed. Me and my brother, Thiago Veiga, he's got a school in Barrington too. So we were very lucky, man, you know, to be part of, you know, the family. You know, I can say I'm part of the Rickson Gracie family.
Yeah.
And being able, like, I can't thank him enough. I mean, first God, and I can't thank, you know, Rickson enough for, and I like to say this, like, it changed my life. Everything I have, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you know, you got your parents and all that stuff, but in the jiu-jitsu, you know, the time, you know, like we go to LA, you know, we surf in LA, we call, hey, we're here in LA. Oh, you guys buy the house? Yeah, come by. And then we get there, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then here we go. He's like, did you get your geese? Of course I brought my You know what I'm saying? And then he goes, go get it. And then like 5 hours later with Rickson Gracie, you know, in his living room, you know what I'm saying? It's like priceless. I'm like, you know, like a little kid, because, you know,
So
people
that's
think
so
like,
cool.
oh, you're a black belt and you know everything. Bro, I don't know everything. I know some, you know, but jiu-jitsu is so, it's a universe that never, there's no end. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like one of the things that I like the most, you know, being around Rickson is like every time we were together somewhere, you know, or doing something in a tournament or whatever it was, you know, going out for eat or stuff like that, you know, everybody knows Rickson Gracie.
Everyone.
So he would go like, hey, hi, nice to meet you, Rickson Gracie. It's like Mike Tyson. Hey, how you doing, Mike? I'm Mike Tyson. So he's so humble, you know what I'm saying? And you learn so much, you know. It's the time that I become the kid every time I'm with him, you know. So, and seeing Kron, you know, growing, become the man he became, and you know what I'm saying? So being part of that, I mean, think about it. I always tell people in the gym, it's like, dude, I don't know if some people understand how lucky you are. And I'm not saying I'm the best, okay? Please don't. I know that I know a good chunk of it, okay? And I can make good black belts. I know I can. But dude, I'm always learning. I'm always involved. You know what I'm saying? But people don't understand how lucky we have. Haller Gracie, Rickson Gracie, and then us. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you know, you're not learning from someone that didn't have the same, you know, lucky to be right there. You know, and I know, like, you know, we always talk. Mm-hmm. I say, man, you know, there's no excuse if you have the opportunity to train in this place. You know what I'm saying? And you not take advantage of this, because I'm not gonna be here around all, you know, for the whole life. And it's, I don't know if Hanzo or Rickson is going to teach, you know, I don't know. You know, Hanzo, he wants to become a fighter, but I don't know if he's going to teach. You know, and Rickson, he likes to teach the kids and stuff like that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, dude, I have a lot of stuff that Rickson taught me that is almost like, man, I don't want this to die.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we, you know, and we're putting we have a new website, and we're gonna have a new website for the Jiu-Jitsu Association that we're gonna come up with videos. So we're gonna have videos for the associated. So it will be very nice. So, and hopefully I will make my book. You know, I have this idea that I have for, I don't know, 10, 15 years, but I am so picky about it that I'm afraid that I'm not going to be well. And I have a mentor. Actually, one of the students that did a book about jiu-jitsu, he's a purple belt. And he's like, dude, coach, I'm a purple belt and I already made a book. You know, I know nothing that you know, and I already made a book just on my experiences. And it was so cool. Yeah. And I'm just afraid to do it, because how can I put all this into a book? Don't do one couple.
One page at a time.
You know,
just start.
Yeah, and then I have another guy, John Hines, too, that's, you know, one of my black belts in Wisconsin. And I kind of talked to him. So I still want to do some of the stuff, not just for the fighters, because the fighters, you know, they're already fighters, but I want to do for a person that starts jiu-jitsu, you know, a person that has, you know, any kind of problems. You know, we have a bunch of kids. Some kids, you know, they have the ADHD or, you know, all this stuff. You know, some kids, you know, they can't pay attention in the class. Some kids, they do have problems. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And bro, after a year, you have their parents coming to you, goes like, my son wouldn't leave the house. My son wouldn't leave his room. Now my son has a social life. You change my son's life.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying? So being able to have that tool, you know, like we have people that deals with, you know, they suicidal people, you know what I'm saying? Depression and all that stuff. Dude, I can't describe how many people, you know, we were able to help. You know, so a lot of people think jiu-jitsu or any kind of fight or any kind of martial arts is just for you to beat people up, and it's not. You know, it's changing people's lives, you know, changing people's body, health, and, you know, mental. So
it's
awesome.
Powerful.
Yeah.
It really is powerful.
Yes. I think a lot of people takes it in a really different way. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like about Rickson now. he's not involved with the fighters anymore. He's involved with the normal people, you know. Like I had one guy, older guy, came one day to me and he was crying, and he was like, "Coach, I have to say, older guy, I have to say thank you to you so much, because what I learned here in the last 2 years, I was able to cut my daughter's ex-boyfriend this weekend. He got arrested. He tried to kill my daughter. And I was able to get in the room, and I was able to choke him and get him. He got arrested.
Oh shit!
Wow.
You know,
Dude. Wow.
and Dr. Chris, our chiropractor, you know, Yusef's wife, she's smaller than me, and this guy attacked her in her complex building. And I think she even went to police before and said that there's this weird guy every time I get off, and it's in a nice place in Schaumburg. It wasn't like bad. And eventually the guy one time came from behind. She got off the elevator, punched her, and tried to grab her. She was able to sweep, took her back and choke him, and he started screaming, and then people got out and the guy got arrested.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stories, and that's what I say. I always say, if you have a kid, you know, of course, I would always say, come to us, LCCT BJJ. But you know, whatever, if you're far away, you know, make sure your son or your daughter does any kind of martial arts, you know, because hopefully they'll never have to use it. But if the day comes, you know, they will know how to. Most of the attacks, I do seminars for women's self-defense and rape prevention. We just did a big seminar for cops, you know, and most of the attacks are in college, of course.
Yeah.
Guys got drunk, got stupid, and they attacked the girls. So I always tell the parents, don't let them stop. Slow down. If they do 5 times a week and they bored, or, you know, 2 times. 1 time. Okay, now you're going to go back to 2 times. Because that time that they don't want to do it, it's going to come back.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a very, very, very important thing. And once you do sports, you don't do drugs. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Distracts
Yeah,
you
it's
from
good
all that.
Yeah, I have a couple kids, you know, that in the gym, you know, they all training, they're 15, 16. Dude, all they want to do is train.
Yeah.
And now they wanted to compete, you know, they're in a different world, you know. They play video games and they compete, you know. It's like my son, you know, goes to Barron High School. You know, it's a nice school, you know, got all the good-looking kids, good-looking girls there. And you're not going to that party, not, you know, because some of the kids, they come to the gym and wrestle there. I heard there's a party. You going to go? No, I don't want to go. And he plays video game, and next day he's training wrestling. No, I got to train wrestling tomorrow. So just like me, you know, I was never a party guy. I never touched drugs, you know, and I can't drink alcohol because I don't know how people do, you know what I'm saying? But here I am, you know, almost 150 years old.
Still kicking ass.
That's what happens when you don't drink. He's over 150
Exactly.
and he
Look
looks
how
like
he
that. That's from not drinking.
Yes. So I keep it up, thank God. So thank you guys.
Well,
thank
thank
you
you.
very
No
much.
problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the great opportunity. So maybe bring a Thiago, and, you know, you got a couple guys. And, you know, I will definitely put the pressure on Julianna. She'll come. Julianna, once again,
That'd be amazing.
Julianna is, you know, world champion, a former world champion, but she's one of the nicest persons.
So nice.
Bro,
It'd be cool to have her on.
One, I'm telling you right now, Julianna finishes training, she's mopping the mat, you know what I'm saying? And her daughter's there all the time. Like she's like a daughter to me, you know, and the things she does, a lot of people have no idea how nice she is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always say, like, man, I don't even have a contract with Julianna.
Really?
Damn.
Just so you know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't ever
Just the
ask.
trust. Just
I
the
don't
trust
ask
family.
for anything. No money, nothing. It just shows up the money in my account and I didn't even ask.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I like men, and there's guys before that I had a men agreement and they messed up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, you're better than a lot of men. I have a lot of, you know, I'm very proud and honored, you know, to have the chance to work with her, you know, and thank God most of the guys, I would say most of the guys that they came to me, that I had the privilege to show a little bit of the Rickson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, they were pretty cool. So
That is awesome.
thank you guys.
yeah.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you guys.
Thanks
See
for
you guys.
watching, everybody. Peace.
Peace.
It's amazing.
Thank you.